go ahead. I'm going to get started. I know we have a few people that are going to come in a little bit later this evening because they, I think it's the Monday night as a board meeting night for a number of clubs, it seems. So that's fine. I told them to join us whenever they could. I am recording the meeting tonight, so I will post this after the fact so that anyone that couldn't attend could see it. I'll probably cut out the conversation Mike and had because it was the Mike and Lori show for the first 5 minutes to get on everything. But we did talk about Rib Fest too and heard that went well. So congratulations to everybody that worked so hard to get Rib Fest done. So let's just kind of bring things up to date. So we've had the overview of what we want to do with the Wellness Initiative. That recording has been up for a few weeks. I know some people have seen it. And last week I sent out an email asking everyone to confirm a few things so that I have that information. The reason I do that is then I can download it in a nice tidy spreadsheet so I don't have to type it up. So if you haven't done that, I'm going to ask you to go ahead and make sure that you do that. You can shoot me a chat or you can go ahead and email me, whatever, if you need me to send you the link again. I am looking for people to confirm that, yes, they really want to be part of the initiative. So the fact that you're here this evening, I'm going to assume that you do want to be part of the initiative. Again, if you don't, it's fine. Let me know. If you're looking, hi, Judy. There you are.
Need it.
Just
there she is.
You look great, Judy.
yes, it's nice to see you.
Bye.
All right, so what I'd like to do tonight so that we can move forward, obviously the big thing we want to do is talk about service project ideas for next month for the district-wide service project. But a couple of things I'd like to do first is just touch base. Now that we're actually meeting, I'd like to talk about the meeting structure, how often you folks feel we need to meet, and how we want to do that. So obviously I am very comfortable and happy to do online meetings. I don't know how you folks feel about it, and I don't know if you have any feedback with other members, either from your club or elsewhere, that you could share with me.
I do.
Okay.
You ready? Oh, no, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, in reference to the, and I'm reading an email from the district president, not district, club president,
Okay.
Deborah Sayer, and she said that she was out, I think, the month of July, so I went to the Vice. Anyway, she said that this is what we're doing for service. We're inviting wellness-related speakers during the month of September.
Okay.
She has some booked. My Choice Pregnancy Care is going to speak on the 24th. Joan Parker from the Regional Director Heart Association on September 10th. She's going to show Not My Child's video, which was done last October, and we're trying to get it in the Newburgh schools. And sponsor a Narcan training that's suggested for October 8th. We're going to hand out pamphlets. We have a plan with St. Luke's Hospital. Anne Marie has provided some information that would be helpful for the community to know all the topics on wellness. And Andrew's going to post it on social media. And partnering with Independent Living, who will use our recovery booklets we ordered from you, Lori.
Okay.
We already did Hope Not Handcuffs in June, and that's what Newburgh is doing.
Okay. All right. Great. Thank you. So Arlette, you're relatively new to Rotary, correct?
Yes, I joined this year.
Yes. Great. Thank you. And congratulations for joining us. Have they made you the wellness person for your club?
No, I received an email.
Okay.
And wellness is what I do from Alzheimer's. I'm a volunteer. I've been volunteering with the Alzheimer's Association for at least 5 years.
Okay.
I do some work with New York State AIDS Institute in terms of HIV and AIDS through churches, etc. That's my background is wellness and care and things like that, and for individuals. So
Great.
once I got the email, I said yes.
Good. Thank you. Well, it's perfect. It was meant to be. That's great.
so.
Good. All right. Wonderful. Okay. So, in regards to the meetings, what I want to talk about though right now is about this initiative and
Yeah.
how often we need to meet. Has, you know, like, well, I'm referring to it as the initiative, but also the committee. And somebody correct me because I'm confused. I don't really know how to refer to it either. But in regards to the fact that we've had a few meetings online, how is that working for everyone?
Just fine.
Yes.
Are we pretty good with that? And I know some of you, it's your first meeting and that's fine. So specifically, what I want to talk about going forward is can we just continue to do this in the way that we're doing it? Just meet online, record it for people that weren't available?
Yes.
Or does anyone feel that they need to have in-person meetings?
No.
No.
Okay.
No,
All right.
I thought that was a good format. I was able to see the first meeting that I didn't attend because you had recorded it. So that was
Okay.
a nice feature.
Good. Thank you, Peter, for that feedback. So let me just tell you what I did have in mind. We had a very great response. I think we had about 50 plus people respond that they were either interested and or ready to join. You know, if we had 50 people that were willing to do this, I thought then we could actually, Judy's laughing. Are you laughing, Judy? I saw you laughing.
Actually, then it like 50 people that are actually going to do that? Was that
Right, right?
the thing?
So as you can see right now, and if you've watched the meetings, it's not quite that overwhelming of a response. You know, if we have that much involvement going forward, then I'd love to see this done at a regional level where maybe somebody would, you know, agree to be like the region rep for their area, and going forward, then they could have meetings in their area, because I love y'all, but I am not traveling everywhere to have meetings every month. It's impossible. You know, I get a lot of requests to come and be a club speaker, and that's even so hard for me. Most of the clubs that I start going below Dutchess County are, you know, it's like a 3-hour round trip for me, and that's a lot on a weekday for me to do. So just keep that in mind. I think we have enough response potentially that we could do it by region, and maybe that won't happen until next year, but keep that in mind if we see things grow going forward. So for now, I think what I'm going to do is recommend that we continue to do this online. I think once a month is enough. If we need to do something different, fine. We can do that. And again, the beauty of this is that we can record these and then you can watch them at your convenience if you want to reference to them. This way, I had a lot of people ask me about commitment. I don't think there has to be a lot of commitment. You know, if we can just catch up when we can and view these at our leisure. So that was my goal. So we'll just continue to do that unless something else comes up. All right. Now, developing a speaker list for the clubs. So, Arlette, great. You have speakers for your club. I have requests from folks saying we want to have speakers, but we don't really know who's available in our area. So I'd like to develop a speaker list. I'm very happy to donate my resources, which are specifically probably going to be around addiction and substance use disorder. I may have some that are other wellness related things, but I would love it if somebody would take on the task of developing that, actually putting it together. We can talk about the format if we're going to do it in an Excel spreadsheet or something that we can put up as a PDF on the website, and then actually break it down by regions to get out to the clubs. Another example is, you know, Lenny, who's on with us, Lenny Nathan, but doesn't have a microphone this evening. So he'd love to be a speaker at any club looking for information on CPR and AEDs. That's what he does professionally. That is wellness. So, you know, Lenny's available to do that. So if anyone's interested in a couple of, I don't remember if it's anyone here specifically, but I did have a few people say they would be happy to work on that speaker list. So I'm looking for someone to do that. Two things. One, we should do it and get it up on the website and get the information out. But also, if we could get it done sooner than later, because September is National Recovery Month, again, we could encourage the clubs, just like Newburgh is doing, to try to have speakers that month relating to wellness, you know, recovery. And specifically, when I say it's National Recovery Month, we are pretty much referring to substance use disorder. So things around that. So if someone's willing to do that, you could raise your hand now, or you could email me privately, whatever you want to do.
I would be happy to be the recipient of everyone else's information. From Carmel, we have resources available to us that are regular speakers.
Okay,
Uh,
good.
Drug Crisis in Our Backyard is a local
Yes, yes.
organization. We have the health department in regularly speaking to us about the instance of vaping and the problem with it being gateway.
Mhm.
We've also had them come in to talk about it escapes me now. They just were here 2 weeks ago. But you know, it's our local health department, but still in Putnam County, you know, for this region, I think that perhaps we can even host a regional meeting like we do, you know,
Yeah,
in group meetings, so we could have a speaker speak to more than one group at a time. But
Yeah.
yeah, so yeah, or handcuffs. They did the handcuffs talk.
yeah. Hope Not Handcuffs, which I wanted. Annette is here tonight, and she's gonna speak to that specifically as well. Here's something I want us all to keep in mind: when you have anyone with any sort of funding, whether they're our county or state or OASIS, Department of Health, anything like that, they are required to keep track of how many people attend these events. The more, the better. So if we partner with someone
Right.
who has, it's usually referred to as a deliverable, they have a deliverable that they have to do a presentation for X amount of people. That makes it more attractive when we say we can do a regional meeting and bring more people to that meeting. And that's a little more motivation on their side to participate, et cetera, et cetera. So not to mention for us, it's plus for us around publicity and marketing, potentially engaging a larger audience, and less hands make more work. No, more hands make less work. I have it reversed. So that's great. I think anything we can do at a regional level is great. With all that being said, again, I understand each of our regions are very different. So for example, up here in North Country in Columbia and Greene, we're pretty widespread. So we need everybody to come together so we have better numbers, but sometimes logistically it's really challenging for us to get everyone together. So let me just confirm, because we're recording this, Kathleen,
I got it.
volunteer to head up the speaker list?
My secretary is going to hate me, but yes.
All right, great. Good. Thank you. Thank you for doing that. And I will very, very happily do what I can to work with you and make it as easy as possible. So great. Okay. So you and I will follow up on that. All right. Now, how to communicate information to our clubs. So the obvious things I think we're going to do, email, and we can do that through the district email. The thing to keep in mind with that, not everyone's email is in there. Some people have blocked the emails. I don't know if it's intentional or not. And some people just don't open their emails. So it's one way to do it, but it shouldn't be the only way to do it. Social media, and really I think with social media what we're talking about is Facebook. Although if we do anything in the way of little videos or anything, we have a YouTube channel I've created to store the meetings on, so we could do that as well. I know Instagram is very popular with a lot of people, so if anybody's comfortable with Instagram, I'd love someone that'd be willing to work on that. And then, of course, the district website, which I'm handling at this point, I'm putting our information on there. So can I just see a show of hands if anybody's comfortable with social media? And you're not committing like Kathleen. I won't make you commit right now. But who's using Instagram?
Not really.
Vicki, Annette, okay. Anybody else? Michael, are you using Instagram? All right, okay. So thoughts on that? Anyone willing to like step up and maybe handle that? All right, I saw Vicki go. All right, so let's revisit that again. All right, but let's keep in mind what is going to be the best way for us to communicate things. And you know, with Instagram, it's a little more of the I think, although I'm getting a little old in my tech, but kind of the instantaneous social to just show what we're doing when we have an event. So for example, this district-wide service day would be a great way to show what we're doing on Instagram, but probably not Instagram to promote an upcoming event necessarily. Maybe, maybe not. So let's keep that in mind. I am very happy to handle the Facebook because I have access to the district page and do that, and probably the same with the emails, but I really would like someone else to help me with that, just because when it falls on me, sometimes I don't get it done in a timely manner, and I want to make sure that we, you know, keep moving forward with that.
District have somebody that does that?
Yes, Leo does do that, and we could delegate to him probably, but we need to prepare it on our end to give it to him. So, yes. So keep that in mind. And if it's something you want to learn how to do, one of the things I love to do is say, if you'll do it, I'll show you how to do it. I love to give away some free training. So if it's something you're like, I don't know, but I'd like to know how, if you're willing to do that, I'm willing to give you some time so that we can do that. Lenny, I'm watching you. I'm trying to do two things at once here.
You
Okay.
said you do it.
It's moving ahead with, okay. All right, good. Creating a toolkit for the club. So again, jargon that I see very often used with what I'm doing professionally and with like State Department of Health and everything. We create a toolkit, which basically is like a packet of sorts, files. I'm envisioning it would be things like the speaker list that we're doing and breaking it down by region, helping them identify potential partners. Where's your club? What region are you in? You know, and helping them say, well, this might be a potential partner based on what your club is interested in doing around wellness. Again, I obviously work primarily with substance use disorder, but that's not really the only thing wellness is about. I actually got quite a bit of feedback from people looking to help others with their financial wellness. Haven't explored that any further, don't really know what that means, what they're offering to do. And we want to be real mindful that we're providing service and not promoting our professional things too much too. So we'll be mindful of that going forward. But, you know, having those toolkits, we could even give them a little checklist about things they could do at the club level. So again, I have experience putting those together, but I'm not looking to be the only one doing everything. So if anyone else is interested in that, please let me know about that so we could get that out. And again, probably the sooner the better. So I think, you know, if we could get, and by that I mean if we could get it out probably before, when's district conference, Judy? Michael?
November.
November.
Yeah, second
Okay.
week of November.
Yeah.
I think 9th is a Saturday.
Yeah, so I think if we could, you know, shoot to get that with the speakers list, and it doesn't really have to be much more than the speakers list, a little bit more, you know, we could announce it at the district conference. It makes us look like we're doing stuff too, you know, which is good, and everybody says, oh, they're doing this, and it gives the club something tangible to put in place. You know, my experience has been the more we can give a club, you know, this is what you do. You want to do this? This is the checklist of what you need to do. Helps to get things done so they don't have to recreate the wheel to do that. All right. Any questions, comments so far? Great. Okay. So let's talk about our district service day. September 14th. And the reason we went with that date, because it is National Recovery Month. So again, it doesn't have to be around substance use disorder. That is not the only thing. It does happen to be that month. But let's talk about that. So I put out in the agenda today, I had 2 suggestions. So I'll talk about those in a minute. I just want to share with you. So Arlette, thank you for sharing what you folks are doing. Okay. And the other thing I know is that the Newburgh Club has purchased 10 or 20 of our workbooks, the recovery workbooks that were handed out at PETS, so that they're going to distribute those too. They're going to donate them into the community and do something with them. So I also have a message from Shannon. Oh my gosh. Hold on. Is it Modafferi? I'm not pronouncing it correctly. I don't think.
Montefiore.
Yes, thank you. And what club is she with? Is she Nyack or New City?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, thank you. So This is what they did with their district grant last year, just to share something they did. They had a project with Open Arms, which is a halfway house in Rockland. They purchased exercise and softball equipment, took them out to dinner at a local restaurant. They all really loved and appreciated this. I had a bunch of the members of my club come too. That's nice. We offered to be mentors to anyone who was interested, and we're hoping to continue to work with them going forward. They have also continued to offer them tables at the fall festival and such, so that they have volunteer opportunities. So that's a great example of finding someone in the, your club's area or your regional area that's providing some sort of services, and seeing what you can do to work with them and help them. So I think we want to be mindful with this, though, that it's a service project day, so we want to be mindful that whatever we're doing on September 14th is something in the way of service. So the two suggestions I sent out, the first one was to work with Hope on a Mission, which that's Kara Mia in Dutchess County, and if you came to the district assembly, she spoke, and we had a hands-on service project that day to stuff backpacks with items that she needed. If you're not familiar with what they do, they serve homeless people in Poughkeepsie. And on Saturdays, she serves breakfast and dinner. She suggested that if the clubs are interested in working with her, they could cook, deliver, serve meals, or provide supplies for those meals. So that's definitely a service project. It's definitely a hands-on, and that's a significant part of our district, but we need to talk about, offering that's great. We can offer that as one option. But, for example, up here in Columbia and Green, it might be too far for some people to go and do that. And, I don't know how many volunteers that they can actually accommodate in one day to do that. So I think that they're probably set for, people down in Dutchess and potentially, I think, even like Ulster to help with that. And then the other idea I have is Hope Not Handcuffs. So aren't we lucky that Annette is with us, who's a Rotarian with Wallkill East, and also what is your title with this program?
Program director.
Program director. So boy, that just, sometimes things are just meant to be. So Annette and I had a conversation today, introduced ourselves to each other, and of course, turns out we know a lot of the same people, are involved with very similar work around this. But I invited her to come to the meeting tonight to talk a little bit more about what they do, what areas they are in, where else they may be going, and explore the opportunity of could we come up with a service project on the 14th, and what could we do going forward, because this is definitely wellness. So what could we do around a partnership or sustainable projects and ideas going forward. So Annette, do you mind speaking for a little bit?
Hello, everybody. I was actually introduced to the Rotary by Bill Bassett, who I'm sure most of you guys know. Dr. Bassett, I run a prevention coalition, so I started a prevention coalition 3 years ago called the Tri-County Community Partnership, and we work largely in prevention in the youth, in the school districts, and underage drinking. We do different community initiatives. Oh my gosh, community initiatives, long day. I know, right? I've been talking a lot today. In prevention and in the youth. And then last year, we launched this initiative called Hope Not Handcuffs, which is a PARI model, or PARI program, which stands for Police Assisted Addiction Recovery Initiative, that started out of Gloucester, Massachusetts about 5 years ago. It's just basically an open door policy where anyone can walk into a police department who's suffering from addiction or substance use disorder, say they need help, and they will call somebody to come to the PD, meet with the person, and get them directly placed into treatment. So we launched in January with one police department, the town of Wallkill Police Department. Since January, we're now in 19 police departments, soon to be 20. We're writing something up today for Senator Metzger's office, actually, because we've been getting a little funding here and there, which is a really great thing. And I think we have like something like 850 police officers as part of our initiative now. We have 555 volunteer angels since January.
Wow.
So it really has taken off. The nice thing is that every police department that we're working with has approached us, which really speaks to the mindset of where they are as law enforcement and what they feel is important now with community policing and the new way of looking at this issue, right? Knowing that we can't arrest our way out of it. So, you know, how it can work with Rotary, you know, I don't know if I know the answer to that yet. I feel like we did come to the district conference. I've been going around and talking to whatever Rotary that asked me to come speak, and I've had in every single Rotary the most amazing responses and people. And I just have to say, I mean, you know, Lori, you know, we're in this field, so we tend to go, well, it doesn't have to be all about what we're doing. But I have to say, it is such a widespread issue. I mean, just the fact that we have 555 volunteers since January. You guys are all in service groups. You understand what it's all about to be volunteers and what we do and how it's hard to get people to get volunteers. And the fact that that many people have stepped up really speaks to the level of where this is reaching, the far reaching of this. So I don't really think, you know, we have to, you know, feel like we're kind of cornering the market on that issue, because I really do feel like it's touching everyone everywhere. And all of the Rotaries that I've spoken to afterwards, you know, several people who you would not think were coming up and the conversations always end like this. Thank you for speaking, blah, blah, blah. And my nephew or my cousin, you know, my sister's son, you know, it's everywhere. So I can't personally think of a better way to, you know, focus on wellness. Certainly prevention is a big piece of that too. You know, one thing when you were talking, you know, that movie Resilience about ACEs, the adverse childhood experiences, I don't know if that's something somehow that could be like shown as a film someplace in certain areas or whatever. That's supposed to be a really great, I don't know, is that more like a tool though for people in the sort of industry, Lori, or do you think that's more like general public? That's not really service though, is it? Or
No, that's
education.
Yeah. I was thinking about this today, you know, that I don't know that I'm the right person to define what's service and what's not. Cindy, you know, has a district governor meeting tonight. Mike is the closest thing we have to making that decision, and he's still listening, but he's tied up right now. But yeah, we would have to, you know, probably get some clarification around what we consider has a service project and what we cannot consider as a service project. So,
I mean, certainly, listen, always angels, recruiting angels.
Right.
And just the way that this program spreads organically anyway is by word of mouth, and by the angels are the people who are the community, right? They're the community members who are out and they are spreading it organically throughout the community. So, you know, who better to spread something in throughout their community than Rotary? I mean, Rotary is everywhere. So from that perspective, certainly angel recruitment
So let me stop you there. So let me just throw something out there, and please, everyone else, you know, chime in on this. I do love to hear myself talk, but even I get tired of it after a while.
No, never say that.
What if we coordinated clubs to agree on the 14th to, you know, have a table in their community to accept angels? To just, I mean, all they would be doing probably is getting them to sign up. They can't do much more than that. They can't do the training or anything like that. What are thoughts on that?
Well, I just have a question. How could you have angels if you don't have a program? Like, I'm confused about that. I could see a table of some kind of information for clubs that don't have handcuffs or, you know, or angels or volunteer, but to volunteer to be an angel and then there's nothing to be an angel with, you know.
Yeah. So let's back up, because Annette, one of the things I know is you're getting ready to launch in Putnam, correct?
Yeah, so let me tell you how it works. So basically, the 19 participating police departments that we work with right now are in 4 counties, right? So in Orange County, there's 10 police departments. In Dutchess County, there's 2 police departments currently. In Rockland County, there's 3 police departments, and in Putnam, there's going to be 3 police departments starting. Actually, we're doing an angel training on Thursday night. So there is a program in place. There are participating police departments up and running now. We are placing people. It is an active program. So basically, what the angels would do in that area is they would sign up to become angels, complete our training. Once it's a 2.5-hour training. Once they're an angel, they go into an on-call situation where they sign up to be on call for 1 6-hour block per month. They can do more than that, but we just ask them to be on call for 1 6-hour block a month. So we run angels 10 to 10, 2 shifts a day from 10 to 4 and 4 to 10. And once they're in training, we just say, you know, we use something called Sign Up Genius, and we use something called GroupMe. People sign up for that block, and if they're on call, when someone walks into the PD, they get dispatched to the police departments through one of our angel coordinators. So, there is
it's possible to do that in the communities where you're located and the police are on board, and you can do that. But in Sullivan County, where we wouldn't have it, you wouldn't do that. Would not be appropriate for us.
Correct. Well, you have a similar program. It's just not called Hope Not Handcuffs. It's called Access to Care.
Right.
You do have that county-wide. But yeah, I mean, from your standpoint, certainly you don't have to live in the county. I mean, for instance, we had just placed somebody in Montgomery a couple of weeks ago who lived in Marlboro. So you could be in Clarkstown and come to a participating police department in Orange County. You know what I'm saying? So you don't have to live in that area, but, you know, certainly spreading awareness to it. We do have Hope Not Handcuffs Hudson Valley is the licensing that we have for that particular program, and we're in 11. We have the license to use it in 11 counties, so we do plan to continue to build and spread. We have actually had interest on more than one occasion from Sullivan County, and I keep telling them that they already have a program, but as a matter of fact, I just did a radio show, the Kingfisher Project, and we participated. Yeah, and we participated. So Barbara, you're in Sullivan County then?
Yeah.
Which area are you in? Are you in Monticello or?
Liberty.
Liberty. Do you know Martin Calavito?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so Marty and I are actually real good friends. We just did a panel for the Rockefeller Institute, and I know he was very much a part of that Access to Care. And he and I actually work together on a lot of things, so that's a mutual. I refer things to him and him to me.
All the time.
To answer to your question, though, as far as that goes, I don't know. I think it's an awareness thing as far as
that's what I'm saying.
Are in, but yeah, I don't know. I actually live in Sullivan County myself, so I live in Bloomingburg in Mammoth. So, but
all right. So I think we're in
getting out information on the 14th that there is something called Access to Care, and how would you? If you're just a general member of the community, how would you know about it? So if you had a friend, a family member, or somebody in need, how would you go about, getting that information to the family or people who need it? So I think there's an informational service, even if I didn't sign anybody up to be an angel, to still be a valuable service.
Yeah, I mean, but Access to Care doesn't use angels. They use.
No, I know that. Yeah. Yeah,
they use Catholic Charities. So, but letting people know that certainly that initiative is there. That people can walk through that door, that police department. I think they're countywide, which is great.
Yeah. All right. So I'm sorry, I don't.
No, it's fine.
I think that. What,
can Peter? I give feedback too? I think being an advocate for organizations that are already doing things in the wellness space is about the best thing we could do, because we're
agree.
helping spread their effort and their message, and becoming additional horses for them out there. The risk is we're not that knowledgeable and can't answer questions like,
Yes.
you know, Hope for Handcuffs people could. And that's why I called Annette today, or her organization, to see if she could come help us for a couple hours that day. And the other problem is you need an audience, because, and we're in Walden going to hook onto the Maybrook Carnival and put up a booth there and try to attract people to it and hand out literature and hopefully get some people from the organizations to come as well. And we'll see how that works. Other clubs in regions, Region 6 are doing similar things at a fundraiser event they're already having, or they're doing a Narcan training. And you heard what's going on in Newburgh. So they're doing a lot themselves. Yeah.
I agree with you, Peter, and I was going to ask Annette if we could get the clubs in the 4 counties where you are to do this. Do you think you could get volunteers that are already established to join the Rotary clubs, so they could be the ones with the knowledge to speak?
That's what I'm trying to. I started phone calls to 2 organizations today.
Okay.
We'll see how it goes. I did get one organization to say they've got a lot of events in September, and they just can't do one more, but we can have their literature.
Okay.
And
So Peter, the Maybrook Carnival?
Maybrook.
Maybrook, is that on the 14th?
It's on the 14th. It's a village in the town of Montgomery.
Okay, well that's great. That was very nice of them to plan their carnival right around us, because I'm sure they weren't planning it all year, right? So, all right, so we're in agreement, yes, as a group, that we're not going to find one service project that's gonna be appropriate for all the clubs, right? I think we're probably all in agreement with that, right?
Yeah.
So what we need to do, what I'd like to do tonight, is agree on some things so we can start getting the information out and getting it to the clubs. So, Annette, if we put this out as an option for clubs that are in Orange, Dutchess, Putnam, and what was the other county?
Rockland.
Rockland. Okay. Do you think we could ask Hope Not Handcuffs to help us by providing us with a person when we have these tables that can be that's more informed than the Rotarians will be?
Yeah, I mean, are you talking by on September 14th?
Yes,
Or-
just on the 14th.
I could definitely, Putnam, I'm not sure of, because they're just launched. So I'm not quite sure if they're up and ready to go with it yet, but I think that I could definitely ask the Angel coordinators in the other areas if they would. They almost always are, as long as that, as long as they're available to do that. Sure. I mean, we're always looking for opportunities to have a table and put the information out there and things like that too. So for sure.
Yeah, and I'd like to suggest that what the clubs do is what Peter talked about, is see who else is doing something on the 14th and, tag on with them, because there'll already be an established audience, theoretically, of people that are attending. I suppose if you, as a club, couldn't find something on the 14th, that you may be able to do it somewhere else. And I don't know, it'll depend on each area what they have. If their library is lively on a Saturday, or a farmer's market, or I don't know, in front of a Hannaford, I'm not really sure.
Those are good ideas, yeah.
So I was going to say, one other thing that we have that's kind of cool, I don't know, when you just said Hannaford, it made me think, we actually got a small Rotary grant last year with our Prevention Coalition to do these. We bought these timer caps. And are you familiar? Anybody know what a timer cap is?
No.
Okay, of course, because I don't have one sitting in front of me, but I can go grab a couple. But basically, it's a medicine bottle. And on the top of it, you unscrew it. And once you put the top back on, it looks just like a regular pill bottle. Once you put the top back on, it's actually a timer. And it begins the time, count up from the last time the bottle was opened. So if you opened the bottle 2 seconds ago or 2 hours ago, it continues to start over every time. And it's basically it prevents pilfering within your home. If you have someone working in your home, or your teenagers, or the last time your bottle was opened. It also prevents overdose in the senior population, which often can't remember, maybe the last time they took their dose, or that's also a rising area of risk. So we have several thousand of those. And one of the things that we were interested in doing is working with Hannaford, because we use these a lot when we do community outreach. And so from Walk Hill East standpoint, maybe what we could do is put a table up out in front or inside Hannaford, maybe near the pharmacy area, and be able to just distribute these, because we give these out for free. They're just community education. So that would certainly be service related. Yes.
Yeah.
They're just, just to give them out, and it's educational. That's just something to think about from our standpoint. I don't know if it, we're all just talking about what we're doing individually or not, but
Okay.
As part of that,
we also,
I'm sorry.
I was just saying, when we do Hope Not Handcuffs things too, we also give them out there at those kinds of things too.
Is it possible that as part of the social media campaign and part of the district-wide campaign, that we could get a list of where things are happening out to the public?
That's a good
So that
idea.
it wouldn't really be just an individual concept, but if you want information, this is where you should go on September 14th, so that it kind of makes an umbrella for the September 14th district-wide day.
Yeah, I mean, are you volunteering to compile that information? That's my first thought. It's like, do you just mean Rotary events on the 14th?
I do
Oh.
actually. I just mean if whatever any club is doing,
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
they could funnel it into who's ever doing the social media, then
Right,
that person could promote what's happening on Facebook or on Twitter or Instagram.
right.
Where it's happening. Hey, you want information about any of these programs? Somebody's going to be in front of Hannaford's on
Yes.
September 14th from this time to
Okay.
go see them.
So I'm talking and thinking out loud at the same time. So we would just ask those clubs to let us know what they're doing on that date, and then we can get that out there. Yes, no, that's fine. Of course, it's like herding kittens, is getting everyone to report what they're doing.
They will or they won't, but if three do, then you have
Yes.
an opportunity maybe.
Yes.
To these.
Yeah, and I'm thinking, I could send the email out, and I'd be happy to put that stuff on Facebook. So that kind of stuff I'm fine with doing at time, and I can do that. Good.
I'm happy in our region, or maybe Barbara, just, we can talk about it, Barbara and I.
Yeah.
In our region, to just make sure that everything gets funneled to you, and maybe,
Right.
and I believe I have a representative from almost every region that I've spoken to in the district. So if I'm happy to put that out to everybody to say, if you do something, this is where we are right now, and if you do something on September 14th, please let Lori know.
Yes, and it's also a way for us to try to encourage participation. So if we don't have a response from somebody, that's an opportunity to follow up, and then maybe find out from them what they could use some help with. So Barbara, back to you. So for you in Sullivan, in Liberty, what would you like to do? What would you suggest?
Well, we've been in conversation with public health, because they have quite a lot of activity going on every year. In October, they do an opioid prevention conference. So we were looking at helping them get the word out about their conference.
Okay.
And then following that up in later in October, early November, with a wellness fair. Because we thought, to call it a recovery fair would, the stigma of all of that. We had quite a conversation about that. We've also been in conversation with the local hospital for their efforts of outreach around wellness, and local churches. So looking at nutrition, homelessness, mental health issues, and the issues of drug abuse. So kind of putting it all together. And just like was said earlier, not looking to what it can Rotary do apart from it. Also shared the Rotary toolkit with public health. I'm waiting for their response to that to see how it might be useful. And when you were talking about the resilience movie, that was something that they showed to a small audience on the western end of the county not too long ago, but we were looking at how we could incorporate that into an informational project for other service agencies. So I'm like maybe bringing the Lions, the Elks, you know, bringing all these different groups together for an informational thing. So on September 14th, there will be more informational, kind of bringing some people together, but then looking at how might this bridge to a longer project along what you've been talking about, Lori, for this area.
So you would maybe like an educational or awareness event maybe on the 14th?
Yes.
Is that what you're saying?
That's what we're looking at doing. Yeah.
Okay, well, good.
And maybe two, we don't have Hannaford's, but we have PEX. And
Right.
we have ShopRite. So we were looking at like having that happen in a couple of locations.
Right. So I think a great thing that we could do, Barbara, is actually almost like a little mini toolkit for what you're talking about, because, you know, without having everything in front of me right now, we're going to have areas like you folks that aren't going to be able to do the other two things that we're discussing. So I'm hoping that we can suggest reach out to your Department of Health, you know, kind of like a checklist again. Now, the other thing to keep in mind too is I have a lot of people I work with at the state level with Department of Health too. So if there's anything I can do to help network and grow that to, you know, a larger audience, please let me know as we go forward with this too.
Well, I really like the idea of those little caps that, you know,
Yeah.
talking about, because that's just a nice visual thing. We were also looking into something that was used in Ulster County a couple of years ago for suicide prevention. It was an app that they were created, the mental health created, but it seems like it was very proprietary to Ulster. So I'm not sure, that might be a project down the line of how we can adapt it for local use.
Well, that's something I would imagine we would go after a grant for to do. But yeah, I'm familiar with, I think I know what you're talking about with Ulster County, and it was proprietary specific to them, probably because they had a grant to do it themselves. So that's great. Kathleen, where are you? What club?
Carmel in Putnam.
Carmel?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay, good. So you're Putnam. All right. So we have Putnam,
I think
Sullivan,
Lily
Dutchess.
was also from,
Orange.
and was saying that I think that Mayapack had something that was going on specifically on.
Yes, I saw that too from Lillian. So she's also Putnam. All right, so we have Orange. And then I know some stuff in Rockland. Of course, this is going to leave Columbia and Greene. My county's up here without anything, but we'll figure something out up here. They may want to do Hope on a Mission. So, all right. So, are we in agreement with the three things that we've discussed to start putting together information to get out? These are service project ideas that your club could participate in on the 14th. Hope on a Mission to coordinate with Karamia down there to help with feeding the homeless down in that area, which specifically is typically, she refers to it as women dealing with addiction. Getting out information, awareness, and recruiting potentially angels for Hope Not Handcuffs in 4 counties, could be. Barbara's going to share with me what she's kind of put together, so we can put together, right, kind of like a little, you know, I'll call it a toolkit for other areas that are, you know, you could do the same thing. Have an awareness day. And, you know, again, this doesn't have to be huge. So areas like up here could do something at the library to include information or do some things. And we could give them a list of resources about things they could do, people that they could invite. there is a probably, I assume they're doing it again this year, Friends of Recovery New York up in Albany, which is our statewide RCO, where I used to work, puts together a whole list of events for the month of September. So I can take a look and see what's going on the 14th. And see if anything's happening in any of our areas too, as another resource for our clubs to partner with and hopefully have a larger audience around that. I think that's good. Yes?
I just want to tell you guys, if anybody's interested in getting those timer caps, it's just timer caps, what is it, timercaps.com or something. I learned about it at CADCA, which is Community Anti-Drug Coalitions of America. I go to this conference every year in Washington, D.C. And I found this guy, but anybody can buy these. So, and I got a Rotary grant to get these for my coalition, but they're super cool. Here's what they look like. And they're dual purpose. So I don't know if you can see.
Oh,
here.
yeah.
So it's got my logo from my coalition on it, right?
Yeah.
So that you take the top off, whoops, and then you take it off and unscrew it and put it back on, and you'll see it begins to count. Whoa, you see that?
Yeah.
Okay, so every time it's been opened, so if you're like, oh, when did I take my medicine last or whatever, and then inside of it, it's got, little instructions, but you see there's the Rotary. There's a partnership, right, between the Rotary and the Tri-County Community Partnership. So it can be the Rotary and the Wellness Collective or Rotary and whomever else. And I just wanted to say on what Barbara was saying about definitely partnering up with hospitals is a great way too, because they all have those CHIP grants where they're involved in their communities. So, maybe they would even let you put up a table in a hospital lobby for, whatever they're working on. I work with my local hospital a lot. So
yeah, I don't know what the pricing is, but I would imagine, I'm just thinking locally that a lot of our primary care offices would probably hand those out if we gave them to them, and it's a great way to get that out. Do you have any idea what the pricing was on that?
no, they're like I think
4 packs, $20.95.
Oh, yep, Lenny found. Thanks, Lenny. You're the man. So it says 4 for $19.95. All right, well, that's good. The other thing that made me think of too is that we talked about this at the beginning. Hyde Park. Oh my gosh, his name's escaping me, with the printing company, but they're doing the palm cards for like $100 that a club could, put what kind of resources are available in their area. And he can do different sizes. I say palm card, but he was doing one like a wallet size. So again, the clubs could be handing those out as a resource to folks as well. So I think I'd like to include these in what we send out to the clubs so that they can pursue doing some of this on their own as well. Hi, Jackson. I see you.
he's fine being seen. He just didn't want to be heard.
All right.
I want to add a great little, and you guys may even know of them, but a great little organization called Keep It Moving. They do Narcan trainings, just phenomenal. These two women that do these Narcan trainings, they're really based out of the Newburgh area, Arlette. So I don't know if you know them over there, but they will come and they will do, as an example, on the 14th, they'll do a pop-up Narcan trainings, and we've used them several times. I mean, Narcan trainings have become, you can get Narcan over the counter. It's basically just, nothing anymore. It's really quick. And we just had a press conference and they came to Narcan training in 15 minutes. So it's a really simple thing. You could do a pop-up Narcan training. That would be a great service thing too. In front of a store, at a local hospital, wherever, so that's just a thought. But Keep It Moving is a great organization. The mother, Laura Mendel, she lost her son 2 years ago. She's a registered nurse, and she is an OASIS licensed provider. So she's a great, it's all for free, so it wouldn't cost you any money to get the cuts.
Good. We've just started with our business. We're doing fentanyl test strip training.
I love that. I want to talk to you later about that.
It's not free. It will be
Okay.
if I can get some funding. And it's challenging because so Project Safe Point up in the Albany area under Catholic Charities is our harm reduction group, and they cannot keep them in stock because there's such a need for them. So my business is focusing a lot more on harm reduction. We're really pursuing that and doing that. So there's a lot of things that we can do. Absolutely, to get this stuff
That's
out.
not as widespread palatable, I think, as, I mean, sometimes even Narcan trainings are bad enough with sometimes stigma, unfortunately, but those might be even a little step in the other direction with that. But
I thought Narcan was getting a little bit too, normalized, so I had to take it up another step. But yes, there's a lot around that, and there's a lot of opportunity for education there. So that's good. All right, I wanted to keep it at an hour and be mindful. Oh, sure, Michael, now you come back.
I've been listening the whole time. I've been staying.
Okay.
I just want to jump on real quick. Just say thank you to everybody for what you guys are doing. I think it's awesome. I think that it was really cool. Someone mentioned nutrition. What a fantastic way to also bring in wellness. I know that you kind of, when you talked about district assembly, this being something that's, a lot bigger than just what we think of as the substance abuse disorder. I think nutrition and your actual, health that way, I think is huge. So I think it's awesome. I think you can bring that in. My only question, so you're gonna convey the information to the clubs or the AGs or something soon?
Yes, I want to put the information together and then have some other folks that were here. I'll send it to everybody that was here tonight to take a look at it, another set of eyes, and help me with anything. And then yes, we'll start getting that out.
I know, like our president's meeting last week, that everyone was eager to find out what are we doing, kind of a thing.
Yes,
so they want to get planning, obviously.
It's not a lot of time. It's less than a month already. So, we want to make sure we give everybody time to do everything. All right.
I have one question for Annette. Did the City of Newburgh Police Department, are they involved at all? When you came to our club, they're still not.
no, the town of Newburgh has expressed interest, but like I was saying to Lori today, if they don't approach us, we're not really approaching them. And
Understood, yeah.
yeah, just we just feel like it's better that way. And I don't know if it was mentioned tonight, but boy, mental health is just so monumental, and that certainly goes hand in hand with substance use, but just depression and anxiety, and it's just so rampant with adults and with our youth. And I just feel like that in itself is a huge wellness piece. I would just love to see us go in that direction a little bit too, if that's
and the thing too is that meth is in the area. It's making a I don't know, resurge. I don't know what the appropriate word is, but it's not just the opioids. And all of our illegal substances are contaminated unless we prove otherwise, which is what we talk about with those fentanyl testing strips. So a lot of the overdoses we're seeing are, not a lot, but there are overdoses around people that are using substances that would not have fentanyl in them. There's also a rise in Hep C, and people that are testing positive for Hep C have never used drugs intravenously, and it's because snorting. And even if you're smoking from the crack pipe, it's contamination. So there's a lot of awareness around that with public health and different things that have to happen with that too. So yeah, there's so many layers with this, right? That we can deal with, just about any piece of it, and it contributes to the wellness in our communities. So it gives us a lot of opportunities to do, but I'm really excited to see the district come together on one day and do some stuff, that's connected. We should also talk about press, getting out there that we're doing this. I don't really have any newspapers left in my area. I mean, maybe we have one that publishes once a week, but of course I'm here, and I know that's going to be much different in other areas. So the other thing maybe we could do is talk to Radio Rotary and get them to do an interview. But again, we're kind of close on their timing with the studio and everything else. So if anyone has any ideas around press, any experience around that, please reach out to me, because I'll be honest, I'm one person, and yeah, it's just not going to get done if and things get missed. I need help. So I want to make sure we do this.
Can I just ask, because I just literally came into this all yesterday, I just found out about all this, and I want to be clear. So we have a Rotary meeting tomorrow morning, which I'm planning to go to. Now, am I supposed to approach my Rotary tomorrow about this and say, hey, this is the day, and you know, we need to put something together, or are they already aware of that? I have confessed I missed a few Rotary meetings lately, so they may have been talking about this. I don't know. I was in Ireland all last week, and I don't know what.
Well, Bill Bassett has reached out to me, and he couldn't join us tonight because, one, he's not very technologically inclined, and he said he did have something else going on, which is not the usual for him now that he's retired. So I assume that they are aware of it, but I would encourage you to bring it up. Mention my name, and if anyone says anything bad, let me know. I'll take care of that on the side. But I think they probably know, but it's always good to just bring it up again and talk about it, because I'm not going to get anything out between now and tomorrow morning. So sure, you know, talk to them, see what they've been doing. And if they have any ideas on that, share them with us, get them out, and let me know. And we'll go with that further too.
But I mean, we're supposed to be sort of creating our own type of thing for our own club for that day, all of us individually.
Well, no, I mean, I would like to put this out to the clubs to say, pick one of these three.
Okay.
The only one I imagine that they have to really create more so will be the third option that Barbara was talking about. If you're not, you know, going to participate with Hope on a Mission or Hope Not Handcuffs, then you're going to have to maybe be a little creative. But I really want to give them a checklist saying, this is what you could do, this is who you should reach out to, this is what we suggest, and, you know, be available to help them if they need anything beyond that. But no, we're not looking for them each to, I mean, if they want to, like, you know, Newburgh has taken the reins and done it, and that's great too. But that's part of the thing I want to do, is not leave it up to them, because that things fall, you know, they seem more overwhelming, someone isn't sure what to do, and things fall through the cracks. So DG Cindy really wants to see a lot of participation on this day to, you know, truly call it a district-wide service day.
And Lori, can I just jump in too? I think
Sure.
maybe I missed it with what I got going on here, but I'm going to talk to all of my clubs in Region 4 to work with Hope on a Mission. I think is probably the best fit for us anyways, so that each club doesn't work individually and independent of each other. But since we're all going to be working for the same thing, we can collaborate, and maybe,
Yes.
you know, clubs can get together and cook, or, you know, whatever it may be. I have to think about what that's going to look like, but to work together as a region, so not each club is independent and maybe working
Yes.
against each other, doing double work if they don't need to.
Yeah, I agree totally. I think that makes so much more sense. And, you know, I think, and again, I could be wrong, but in my experience, we get more engagement and involvement when we tell people, you know, this is the date, show up, and this is what you're going to do, as opposed to leaving it up to the clubs. You know, I just think we're going to see more. And the fact, Vicki, that you folks already have a relationship with Karamia, and people are aware of it, I think that's great. And I think it's going to, you know, be I would hope, pretty smooth sailing for you folks going forward.
Yeah, and I'll talk with Mike offline too, Region 3. That's how, you know, we're both.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
we'll all
great.
get in.
Great. And, you know, again, there's potentially a long-term sustainable thing that you do around wellness. Is just, you know, one club a month, you know, takes a Saturday every month, and whatever you folks determine you have to do. Well, I'll get off on a tangent, which I'm known for doing, but I would like to see Columbia County replicate what Karamia is doing up here.
Yeah.
I would like to see us start our own, you know, Hope on a Mission here, because, you know, the county claims we don't have a homeless issue, but we do. And, you know, even when we have people that are recently released from incarceration and or treatment programs, there's a huge need then for, you know, providing them with basic things for for nutrition, for food, for personal care.
Mhm.
So that would be great.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else? Any other questions, comments?
This has been good.
Good. I think so. I think so too. All right, Kathleen, my bless you. You sneezed. My speaker person will connect. Arlette, great to see you again. I'm glad you're still in Rotary and with us. And Annette thinks, because I do know Annette just came back from vacation, and all this just happened right away. Happy Monday! And, you know, to come and join us on a Monday night when it's your first day back to work, I really appreciate that. And everything that you're doing around this. Of course, I am prejudiced about Hope Not Handcuffs with my history. So, all right, I will get an email out. It will be a couple days. I'm training all week, so it'll be one night this week. I'll get information out, try to do it sooner than later, and we'll keep moving forward.
Thanks,
Thank
Lori.
you.
Thanks, Lori.
Okay,
All
thank you.
right.
Have
Okay.
a good week.
Good night.
Good night.